Welcome back to CHM5403 sensor technology. For this topic, we will discuss about Aptamer sensor. What is an aptamer? Aptamer are single-stranded folded oligonucleotides, a series of nucleotides that is synthesized to be specifically interact with the targets. What is the difference between aptamer-based sensor and antibody-based sensor? In terms of producing aptamer, it is much more simpler compared to production of antibody. In terms of stability, aptamer is much more stable compared to antibody. However, in terms of selectivity, antibody is known to have a better selectivity or affinity towards target compared to aptamer. So in short, there are a few advantages and disadvantages using aptamer. Aptamer has to be designed properly in order to get a very selective binding affinity with the target molecule. Aptamer can be designed, aptamer can be prepared via in vitro as well as in vivo. Look at in vitro because this is the one that is much more practical and much more cheaper. So in vitro selects, a pool of nucleic acid is put into the system together with certain target molecule. And the system should allow the nucleic acid to form a selective aptamer based on the target analyte, followed by separation, and the aptamer can be amplified. However, the aptamer has to be characterized in terms of the binding affinity by using techniques like SPR or QCM. The binding of the designed aptamer has to be properly characterized, and the binding affinity should be of certain standard before it can be accepted as a good biomarker for development of biosensor. As you can see here, we have the target molecule in the middle and a series of nucleotides forming an aptamer folded to bind specifically to the target. So this is an example of a very long folded aptamer. Aptamer sensor can be developed based on using labeled or label-free methods. For example, if you have with label, in this case, the aptamer is tagged with certain fluorescent label, you can see that it can have an interaction results in the difference in fluorescent signal. For label-free methods, a few examples based on SPR, probably QCM, as well as other techniques, okay, like conductometric or impedance can be used for aptamer sensor. This is an example of using aptamer in development of lateral flow-based sensor. As you can see here, this is the aptamer, and the aptamer interact with the protein of interest, the one that we wish to detect. And in order to give out the signal, a pair of an antibody tagged with gold nanoparticle, which is also specific to the antigen, is used to generate a signal. So this is based on a naked eye detection or colorimetric based. So this is a combination of aptamer, antigen, and antibody tagged with gold nanoparticle. This is another strategy using aptamer. The gold nanoparticle is used as substrates where the aptamer is immobilized on top of the gold nanoparticle. And if there is no target protein or target analyte, then the gold nanoparticle will remain with the size of nano and the color remains red. If the aptamer, which is immobilized on top of gold nanoparticle, exposed to certain target, and the target is of interest or the target is a match to the aptamer, then aggregation will occur due to the interaction of this aptamer with the target. And due to the aggregation, the color or the gold nanoparticle now with greater size and the color turns to blue.